Hello everyone. So in this lecture we will be going through a certain protocols that we can forward in the concurrent transaction. So today we will be discussing on two protocols, lock-based and timestamp. So first let's see what is a lock-based protocol. So in lock-based protocol we will be going through two types of locks, which includes shared and exclusive. So in shared lock it is represented as capital S, and in exclusive lock it is represented by capital X. I think it's better if we see with the help of an example. So this is a example for shared lock protocol. So here in a schedule I took two transactions T1 and T2. So here when you see in transaction 1 log S of A. So from this statement you should understand that the data A, so A is my data, so the data A is under shared log, so S is represented as shared log. So here in this particular statement the data item A is under shared log. In the second period of time some accessing of data is happening, which means read of A. So suppose I am giving A as 100, so it accesses the value 100. Then after that it straightly went to T2. So here also it is accessing the data, so we already have the value over here, so same value it will get read over here, so we will get A is equal to 100. Now when it comes to T1, see, we can see a statement unlock S of A, which means now this item A is not in shared lock, because initially it was in the lock stage, then in this particular period of time it got unlocked. So now this item A is not in shared lock. Then after that it went straight to transaction 2, some ALU operations is happening, then the data got manipulated, so my final result is 150. So here the thing is, in shared lock, when a particular data is under shared lock, none of the other transactions would not be able to manipulate the data, because here in this particular example, see, in this transaction 1A the data is getting accessed, the data is under shared lock, but here other transaction won't be able to manipulate the data, because in this example it is pretty much evident, because when you see this example T2, here T2 is not manipulating the data, because why? A was under shared lock, so T2 was not able to manipulate the data. So accessing data is possible, but manipulating the data is not possible. So if T2 wants to manipulate the data, then T1 needs to unlock it. That is why in this statement, after the unlock process, the T2 was able to manipulate the data. So in shared lock protocol, if a particular transaction is under, or if particular data is under shared lock, other transaction won't be able to write the data. Reading is possible, but writing is not possible. If that transaction needs to manipulate the data, T1 needs to unlock it. I mean, whatever transaction is that transaction need to unlock. That is all about shared lock protocol. Now this is all the explanation of what we have gone through in the example. Then comes exclusive lock. So in exclusive lock it is different from shared lock. It is represented as X. Here the data that we are going to take is A. Now see, lock X of A means A is under exclusive lock. Now read of A, which means I access the data, which means suppose the value of A is 100. So here also basic ALU operation is happening. Then write of A means I manipulated the data. So my current data is 150. Then it unlocked. It unlocked the data, which means A is now free from the exclusive lock. But when you analyze this particular transaction, see, in this whole particular period of time, none of the transaction is, neither it is accessing or manipulating the data, which means if a data is under exclusive lock, other transaction won't be able to read or write the data. Both cannot be done. So if any of the transaction need to access or write the data, or both, an unlock have to be performed. So if unlock is not happening, then other transaction won't be able to do the read and write operation. So here in this stage, when A got unlocked, then T2 can perform read and write operations, but only when unlock operation is getting performed only. So uh, if the data A is not unlocked, means other transaction won't be able to read or manipulate the data. So the difference between the shared lock and exclusive lock is that in shared lock, if the data is under shared lock, other transaction can read the data but it cannot manipulate the data. But in the case of exclusive lock, if a data is under exclusive lock, other transaction would not be able to read and write the data. Both is not possible. Now comes the second protocol, which is known as timestamp protocol. So from the name itself, it is clear that it is like first in, first out, which means when when a particular transaction will appears first, whatever data is there in that transaction will be considered first. So here, in order to avoid the concept called deadlock, we will be discussing this in the further videos. So it means that it evaluates every transaction based on their arrival. This is a very important point, based on their arrival. So it's like first come first serve manner. So here some notations that you need to keep in mind, which means TS means timestamp and TI means my number of transactions. Suppose my schedule can either contain 2 or 3 transactions. So this is a very pretty much example, like suppose I'm having 3 transactions, T1, T2, T3. So T1 is appearing first, T2 is appearing second, and T3 is appearing third. So 10, 20 and 30. So here, which means whenever this T1 is appearing first, means this will become much more older, and T2 in the middle part, and T3 will become youngest, because T3 is the last transaction, right? It is appearing in the last. So in the read operations also, so we are having 2 operations, read timestamp and write timestamp. So X is nothing but my data. So here read operation will be performed first on the oldest transaction, and last it will be applied on the youngest transaction. Similarly, write operation also, oldest will be appearing first and youngest will be appearing last. So as from the name itself, it is very evident, it is based on the arrival of the transaction. So evaluations of the transaction are done based on the arrival of the transaction. So we have gone through the log-based protocol as well as timestamp protocol. So thank you.